The City of Dreams. The Empire City. The city that never sleeps. This is the capital of the world. Welcome to New York City. With over 8 million residents and 6,000 high-rise buildings, the city has one of the most recognizable views in the world. The population of New York City is larger than most countries. It's the most populous city in the United States and one of the largest in the world. Prepare to witness some of the most iconic sights, from Times Square to Central Park, the Statue of Liberty, and the One World Trade Center. Sit back and relax, and let's get started on our tour. This is Times Square. Times Square wasn't always called Times Square. Times Square was originally called Long Acre Square, but it was renamed in 1904 after the New York Times newspaper moved its headquarters there. Times Square was the birthplace of the New Year's Eve ball drop. The tradition of the New Year's Eve ball drop began in 1907 and became an international event. The ball weighs 11,875 pounds. Get this, Times Square has its own zip code, 10036, despite being part of Manhattan. Along with that, over 50 million visitors travel here annually, one of the most visited tourist attractions in the world. The bright lights of Times Square are powered by solar panels. Many of the famous LED billboards that light up Times Square are powered by solar panels, making the area more eco-friendly. In the 1900s, Times Square was home to a thriving theater district, hosting Broadway shows and becoming the epicenter of live theater. The first electronic billboard was in Times Square in 1928. Times Square was once the heart of the movie industry, hosting numerous movie palaces. Times Square also features a unique time capsule. In 1997, a time capsule was buried in Times Square to be opened in the year 3000 AD. It contains items that represent life at the turn of the millennium, including a letter from New York's mayor and a snapshot of the city at the time. In the early 2000s, Times Square was completely renovated. In the 21st century, the city transformed Times Square from a congested, car-heavy area into a pedestrian-friendly space with wider sidewalks and more public space for visitors. Next up, a place that's bigger than some countries. Central Park. Central Park spans 843 acres and is larger than the countries of Monaco and Vatican City. Opened in the year of 1858, Central Park was the first public landscape park in the United States. Its creation marked the beginning of the public park movement in the country. Over 25 million people visit annually. It's one of the most visited urban parks in the world. Central Park's rolling hills, lakes, and trees are entirely man-made. The land was originally rocky and uneven, and tons of earth were moved to create the park's design landscape. And here we have a glass cube. Of course, it's an Apple store, and it's the only one that's open 24/7 in the world. It's not every day a giant statue is gifted from another country, but in this particular case, this one, the Statue of Liberty, was gifted from France in 1886 to celebrate the centennial of the American Declaration of Independence and to symbolize the enduring friendship between the two nations. This once copper giant stands at 305 feet tall. The statue itself is 151 feet tall. At its height, the torch of the Statue of Liberty was originally a viewing platform open to visitors. However, it was closed to the public in 1916. Next up, the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere, standing at 1,776 feet tall, the One World Trade Center, also known as the Freedom Tower, a remarkable symbol of resilience and progress. With a construction cost of around $4 billion, it's the most expensive skyscraper ever built in the United States. Featuring 104 floors, the main office tower reaches up to the 100th floor, and it also has 6 underground levels. The building's design features a unique triangular shape that tapers as it rises. The design was intended to provide both aesthetic appeal and structural stability. At the base of the tower is a public plaza with fountains and green spaces. The area surrounding the tower is part of the World Trade Center complex, which includes the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. Due to its location and significance, construction of the building involved extensive security measures. These included fortified foundations and materials designed to resist terrorism and natural disasters. The One World Trade Center is a tribute to those who lost their lives in September 11, 2001. The building represents the resilience of the people of New York and the United States as a whole. It is the 4th tallest building in the world, and while it is the tallest building in the United States, it wasn't built overnight. It took over a decade to complete. Construction on One World Trade Center began in 2006 and was completed in 2013. The building officially opened to tenants in 2014, and it took more than 10 years to build, including delays due to security concerns and other challenges. New York City is also known for its iconic bridges, which not only connect the city's boroughs but also serve as architectural marvels. Pictured here, the Manhattan Bridge, completed in 1909, has an interesting story behind its construction. It was designed by Leon Musadev, and its innovative design includes a unique type of suspension that allowed for a wider bridge deck. The Manhattan Bridge connects downtown Brooklyn straight into Chinatown. The Manhattan Bridge sees an average of about 100,000 vehicles cross it each day. In addition to vehicles, the bridge also supports subway trains and is a critical piece of the city's public transit infrastructure. Another iconic landmark of New York City, the Brooklyn Bridge, opened in 1883, the longest suspension bridge in the world with a span of 1,595 feet. It held this title until the completion of the Queensboro Bridge in 1909. The bridge took 14 years to build. It was the first bridge ever to use steel cables. And, funny enough, it was meant to be a suspension bridge for trains. Unfortunately, the Brooklyn Bridge construction was a perilous endeavor. Tragically, at least 20 workers lost their lives during the building process. But nonetheless, when the Brooklyn Bridge opened, it was an immediate success, drawing massive crowds. On its opening day, thousands of people crossed the bridge, and a parade was held to celebrate the event. Unlike many modern bridges, the Brooklyn Bridge has a dedicated pedestrian and cyclist walkway located above car traffic. This elevated path provides stunning views of Manhattan, Brooklyn, and the East River. Wow, another fun fact. New York City hosts over 30,000 restaurants. The city offers an incredibly diverse food scene, from street food carts to Michelin-starred fine dining. There's virtually every type of cuisine from every corner of the globe. It's the city of islands. New York City is made up of multiple islands, with Manhattan being the most famous. Other notable islands include Staten, Roosevelt, and Ellis Island. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed our tour of New York City. As always, thanks for watching, and I can't wait to take you on our next trip.